I've got a ghost story from this place. I've told it on this channel though. Indian Mound Cemetery in Moravia. Basically, that's not what this video is about. This video is about Earth Day. Of all things. Yeah, I was driving this way and off to your right, I saw a teenage girl dressed really old-fashioned running down that dirt road in that cemetery. Quite a sight. Very skinny, very pale, dressed like from around, I would say, about 1920, and she looked terrified. It was definitely a spirit. I won't talk about all that here though, because that's not what this video is about. I'm just going to do a little drive, and I tried to clean my window. It just doesn't want to come clean completely. But today is April 22nd, and somebody said something about it being Earth Day, and wanted to know what I was doing for Earth Day. And I jokingly said, I'm burning my trash outdoors. And I told him I'm just joking. And I said, no, I'll tell you what, I'm all for Earth Day. I recall when I was a kid, the very first Earth Day, 1970. And that's when people started getting serious about the environment. I remember living in West Virginia as a kid before that. The pollution was appalling. Strip mining and factories dumping waste into the Kanawha River. I was really upset about that. So when they said they were having an Earth Day, to sign up for it, and I was just a kid, me and my friends signed up for it because we were pretty active in the community back in the days before video games, and I really wasn't big into TV myself. Liked to be outdoors as much as possible, which is a blessing. Went to church, went to school, participated in sports, worked odd jobs to make extra money. I think I was like 10 years old, the first Earth Day. And we all met up in town, quite a few people, adults, teenagers. I think we heard about it in school, now that I think about it. So a lot of us signed up for it. And basically what we were going to do is go on a walk and pick up trash. I just went in a circle. So that's what we did. We all met up and we were all given trash bags and got a little poker with a nail in the end of it, so we could spear some stuff. And we all went on a walk picking up trash cans, sorry, I'm trying to drive. Picking up garbage on the road. Anything from pop bottles and beer cans and right down to tires and things that somebody had thrown out. They did that stuff back then too. Some people just don't care about the environment. I do. I'm not like a activist, on like you see some of these people for global warming and stuff. Because I'll tell you what, it's the end of April, and where I'm at, it's supposed to get down below freezing tomorrow. So that's a hard sell with me. Trying to adjust this. There we go. But I do recycle, and I'm all for taking care of the environment, planting trees, picking up trash. So that's what we did. I remember I picked up a beer can, or was it a bottle? A bottle. And it had a snake in it. And the snake was like sleeping, hibernating. It wasn't moving, but I didn't think it was dead either. A little garter snake, nothing harmful. And I remember I put it in my hat, on top of my head, and put my hat on. this little snake, and I was walking along. Eventually it warmed up and it came back to life, which I let it go. I just remember that. I remember my friend thought it was funny too. My friend Tim Philby, my childhood and teenage best friend, Tim Philby, wherever he is, God bless him. And that's really about it. I'll tell you what, it's good to do these things. It's good to get kids in school involved in it, and it makes people aware at an early age, to take care of the environment. So they grow up maybe, hopefully, as more responsible adults with their trash and recycling and stuff. And that's it. Earth Day. I'm all for it. I think it's a good thing. And definitely a good thing. They should just take to school and have the kids do it, And the kids will grow up, Don't put their political garbage in kids' heads. I really am against that. But there are some good things you can teach children outside of academics. And taking care of your environment is definitely one of those. And that's where I think that the whole Earth Day thing could be very useful. And give them, if they sign up for it, to go on a walk like a road like this on both sides of the road, and they just pick up trash, and somebody's driving around, following them in a truck, and they got road guard vests. You got to organize it, at least a month beforehand. And when your trash bag fills up, you throw it in the truck, you get another trash bag. And, at the end of the whole thing, maybe you have a big pizza party or something. Get a plaque, piece of paper, you participated in Earth Day. That kind of thing. I used to live out here 5 years ago. This is Dresserville, Sempronius, New York. I'm going to drive up my old haunted road. The most haunted road I've ever lived on. Not saying that I think we're going to catch anything in the video, but might. You just might. We might. That was the most haunted road, and I'm not the only person to say that. Actually, I talked to somebody I worked with that lived on this road, and they said the same thing. I've got a lot of stories from this road. Some of them are pretty good. Like about the woman, I say Indian woman, that came out of a tree up here. And I stopped my car, and she came right up to my car window. A ghost of a woman, it looked like an Indian. She was up in a tree in a dress with white rags. I told that story. And then there's a white hawk 2 weeks later on this hill right in front of me, right here. On the right, the woman was up on top of a tree. And I got so many stories, and the tree is right around here. And a white albino hawk, also right here, followed my car all the way up the hill, gliding right beside my window. Right, I could have put my hand out the window and put my hand on it. And I pulled over here to get a picture of it, and it landed in a tree and regarded me. And before I could take a picture, it flew off. Completely white hawk. And Jen and I used to live in a trailer on the right, which is since gone. They put a new property in right here. I don't know if they know it, where they put their new double-wide trailer. That's where I found my landlord dead in my lawn. Right about where their kitchen would be. But about 8 years ago. Quite a shock. I think he had a heart attack. What's that got to do with Earth Day? Nothing. I just wanted to drive around and talk. Oh, it's really spring. You can see there's no leaves yet. One more week, it'll be May, and we still haven't got any leaves. That's how it is here in central New York. upstate New York, we don't really have much of a spring. We really have 3 seasons. You got winter with snow and ice. You've got extended winter right up to May 1st, which is basically mud and ice. It's supposed to get down to freezing tomorrow. And then suddenly, poof, it's summertime. With that poof, it's pretty glorious. Just suddenly there's flowers everywhere and it's just beautiful. I wouldn't miss it for anything. That like 3 weeks when nature wakes up, and it's April 22nd, and as you can see, it's not green at all here. Not yet. I've got friends buried in this cemetery, or people I know. Sand Hill. It's a beautiful area in here. It's haunted. The woods are haunted. Indians used to live here, and the Indians said it was too spiritually active to live here, they thought. But and the whites settled it around 1800. Before that, it was Indians. And the Indians visited here. Actually, they didn't live here, they visited. And they buried their dead here. And they hunted. But they wouldn't live here. I read that in a book. That they said you'd have to be crazy to live here because it was too spiritually active. So the Indians said that before the European whites came. So maybe it's something to do with the land, the area. But this is a very spiritually active area. Definitely. It doesn't mean stuff happens all the time. It doesn't. Thank God, I haven't had anything happen for a while. Yeah, really, no. Not here. So, it's Earth Day. And I'm pretty sure anybody watching this channel is responsible when it comes to taking care of the environment. I don't think on electric cars. I'm not going to buy one. I don't think they're the way of the future at this point. I think that hydrogen is the better alternative. It's cleaner, much cleaner than electric cars. A young man was killed right there on a motorcycle. Right there, got hit by a car at that intersection. And I thought it was horrible. I used to see him all the time on his Harley, going way too fast, like I used to when I was young and had a motorcycle. And my guardian angels were working overtime. And I just had a bad feeling every time I saw him on that motorcycle. Sure enough, he got killed on it back there. Sad day. At any rate, a little drive around. Drive around the backwoods area of my town. You never know what's happened on these roads. Millard Fillmore, President of the United States, elected in 1850, was born up here in a field to my right. I'll tell you where. On the right side of the road, they've got a little park. Millard Fillmore, yeah. Right up here on the right. He was born there in a log cabin. I don't know, around 1808 or something like that. Yep. Millard Fillmore. And up here on this curve, I remember, you'd never know it now, but it wasn't too many years ago that a woman was killed, and she come around this curb right here, lost control of her car somehow. The car flipped, she was thrown, car rolled over top of her. Her family had a little cross there for about 2 months, and they took it down. And there's a piece of land on my right. You wouldn't know it, but a really beautiful piece of land that I wanted for so long. I used to pray every time I drove by it to God to please find a way to bring me into possession of that land. I was hoping to put my own little place back in there. It's got like a beaver pond. And it never happened. Somebody else bought the land. The prayer's not answered, which I accept. I figure God had other plans for me, for my life. I accept that. I generally put the car in neutral here and coast to the village. That's when the end of this video. But Earth Day, what we did back then when I was a kid, was a very good idea. I think schools should do this. It'll teach children at an early age to take care of their environment, and they'll be proud of it. Make them proud of it, that they participated in it. All this trash, this is the right time of year to get it before all the vegetation grows up. You can see all the garbage people threw out their car windows. People that most likely never participated in an Earth Day, or maybe they would have had an appreciation instilled at an early age not to throw their trash out the window. Now you hear me talk about, my spiritual beliefs and other things, but that's one thing. I think, like most people, I care about our environment. We live in it, and God made it. It's His creation. We're the stewards of it. We're supposed to take care of it. So most of us do, but you get some people that don't. And I've known a few people that just wouldn't think twice about throwing their trash out the window. And they're not right. Honestly, I'm thinking they have issues. It's just, at some level, they have issues. I mean, I'm not going to condemn them for it, but it's not right. Yeah, that's something else. So, just drove in another larger circle. I put a picture of me up. At the age when this event happened, I just found this picture. My mom made me dress this way. I remember that. I remember that day. I really protested. I didn't want to dress up like this and get my hair combed. My mom took me and my brothers to the photographer, and we all dressed up, and I didn't like it. I didn't want to go. You can see that a little bit on my face, as I'm just kind of I'd rather be walking on Earth Day than standing here with this jacket with my hands in my pocket. Well, coming back into the village of Moravia. If I'm going back to France, I got to get better on my French. I mean, I really haven't even applied myself at it. I got lazy while I was there because I could get by with my English and what little bit of French I had. I really didn't try to master it at all. village. I just did another big circle. And I'm in neutral still. The church I go to is up on the right here. Occasionally I go to it. Faith gets you out of the boat. Funny, it's a little greener in the village, than up on the hill. That's odd, I just noticed that. The leaves are even coming out here, to where they're not up on the hill at all. That is strange. That's really strange. Well, we're in a valley here, a deep valley, in the village.
Well, that's it. Happy birthday. Battery died on my phone at this point. Bye.